shield here in StubHub, and let me tell you something. It's going to get warm real quick.
Jayson Velez not afraid at all, not intimidated by Ryan Garcia. His speed, his power, nothing. You can see the height of Ryan Garcia immediately against the former world title challenger. He said, I'll make my adjustments on the fly. I'll let him come to me, and as the rounds progress, I'll start doing what I need to do.
And he's doing that. I mean, both guys are really like trying to set up a position where they can go ahead and take control. The first 2 rounds is going to be really a round of who's going to dictate it going forward, but not actually be the case in this fight, because both guys are going to have their rounds.
Velez is trying to work the body, trying to tie up Ryan Garcia. He said, I want to do things to him in the ring that he hasn't seen before. I want to take him deep. I want him to think. And Ryan Garcia says, don't worry. I'll make my adjustments as the fight progresses, and I'll make him pay.
Velez is showing that aggressive and veteran move. He wants to stay close, and he wants to keep the pressure on Garcia. They're younger and the most, inexperienced out of the two.
You look at the back of Ryan Garcia, already the right hand to the body of Jayson Velez, making its presence known. Brash predictions from Ryan Garcia. Now he's got to make it come true inside the ring. And Velez says, look, this fight is a test for me because they want to prove that he's for real, and I need to prove that I'm not finished as a true prospect and that I can once again become a world champion. And we see the right hand of Ryan Garcia lightning quick, but Velez has something for him because he's coming back with something.
Velez is staying just close enough to be able to counter when Garcia, or if Garcia misses. If he misses and he don't protect himself, he will get countered, because if you see how Velez is just sitting there waiting and just in the right distance to get a punch off, whether it's the right hand, left hand, and he's staying close to be able to do that.
There you see the body shot from Jayson Velez. Protect yourselves at all time is the old boxing adage. There you see the overhand right. So Velez came to fight.
Garcia's getting hit with that right hand because he's throwing one jab and he's not bringing it up. He has to double a jab up. That would make Velez be kind of leery on coming in with a counter if there's 2 or 3 jabs coming.
You see a nice left hook landed by Ryan Garcia. We remind you that Jayson Velez has never been stopped as a pro. He's got a good chin, and that's what he said. Let's see, when I take his shots, how Ryan Garcia reacts as the fight progresses, as round 1 comes to an end. Forcing of his opponents early on in his pro career, he's got 6 first-round knockouts out of the 13 he has as a pro. So Jayson Velez proving at least durable here early on in the fight. And the one thing about Velez is he came to fight. He's got something as an answer for every time that Ryan Garcia throws something. He knows something's coming back.
Well, Garcia has to be careful not to try to come out like he came out in opponents before Velez. Velez is a cagey. He stayed close enough, and he's waiting for Garcia to throw a punch and bring his hands down low and not protect himself, because he's waiting to counter. If you see how his hands up, Velez wants to counter with any hand, left or right. Look for him to do that, body shots and then a counter.
The gear that Ryan Garcia is wearing, well, he's got Frida Kahlo, he's got Dia de los Muertos, he's wearing part of a sarape in his robe, all in honor of Cinco de Mayo.
This is where Jayson Velez is really dangerous and can have Garcia really fighting in a way of keeping him off him, which is not going to be a good thing. Garcia must continue to keep him in the center of the ring, Velez, and throw combinations and not get trapped on the ropes like he's getting trapped now.
The one thing that Ryan's father was asking for in the corner, Henry Garcia, who's also his trainer, I want more jabs. That's not really in the arsenal from what we've seen in Ryan Garcia's repertoire. He's more of a power puncher. He doesn't use the jab like many other fighters, and that's something that you would like to see someone develop. And speaking of corners, Beto Duran was in the corner of Jayson Velez. What did they say? All right, we haven't opened Beto's mic as of yet. But nonetheless, Ryan Garcia connects with a nice left and right. And you see the legs of Jayson Velez turn into jello early on in round 2.
Ryan Garcia has power, and he shows that power when he put punches together. If he continue to set it up off the jab, we might see Velez do more of them funny dances as the fight goes on in rounds.
Jayson Velez is right in his face once again, and there's a low blow from Velez. That's the caginess of a fighter, B-Hop. You've been there, done that, as now they go at it on the break. That's what he wants to do, is bring Ryan Garcia into his fight.
And pick him apart, because Velez is going to try to suck him into a war.
Solid round here from the StubHub Center between Garcia and Velez. Ryan Garcia is in elite company with ESPN.com's Prospects of the Years for the last 5 years. Eric Salubin won in 2016, and then world champion Errol Spence Jr., Felix Verdejo, the Olympian from Puerto Rico, as well as Vasily Lomachenko, who's considered by many as the top pound-for-pound fighter in the world. He won the award in 2013. So he's looking to prove that he belongs amongst those names, B-Hop. And boy, what a list that is.
It is. And you know, there's 2 ways that both of these fighters know how they got to win this fight, and also establish that now.
All right.
Garcia has to be in the middle of the ring and doing what he's doing now with that jab, but he has to throw more than one. And Velez know that he has to keep him on the ropes and make it a really dirty and a really fight that's going to be ugly. And so that's his chance of Velez to get a good punch in on Garcia, hoping that Garcia get frustrated, get tired.
Nice left hand there from Jayson Velez. What were the instructions for Ryan Garcia in between rounds, Beto?
Just like that, Bernard. Throw jab, and now his dad said open up. So what does that mean? He said throw more combinations. He just want to see Ryan put 3, 4 at a time.
Nice right hand there to the chin of Velez, who once again, we remind you, he's never been stopped as a pro, but already twice we've seen him do the stanky leg dance, B-Hop.
Garcia is setting up a right uppercut or a left uppercut after those combinations that was mentioned earlier. The combinations must be in the center of the ring, and Garcia must finish with an uppercut, whether it's the left hand or right hand, or Velez is going to run right into those shots. Velez has to be on an angle not to get hit with that uppercut that he just ran into just now.
There you see the speed of Ryan Garcia, able to create space and try to take advantage. And Velez coming in with the head. He wants to frustrate Ryan Garcia. He told us in the fighter meetings, I want to make him think. I don't want him to think that he can just do what he wants to do against lesser fighters. He's facing me. I'm a grown man, and he's going to find that out in the ring.
And he has one of the awkward, not pretty styles. So the way he's fighting has been successful in his career. And, you know, this is where young fighter like Garcia has to figure out with that right uppercut that I mentioned earlier.
There it is, and once again, you see the legs of Jayson Velez go a little weak, and here comes Ryan Garcia. He said before 4 rounds, this fight would be over. The fans start to get on their feet here at the StubHub Center, and we'll remind you of one thing. Jayson Velez was on the brink of retiring. He was working at a fast food chicken place in Puerto Rico, and he said, this is not who I am. I'm a fighter. So there's a lot at stake for him and for his family here this evening.
And he still was training as he was working, anticipating maybe an opportunity like this, Bernardo, because he's still game, he still is coming in. And you know what? Garcia does not underestimate him and think that because he hit him with an easy shot, that it's over. Want that win. Each of them want that win just as bad as they wanted the first one.
And so does Velez, who comes out fighting after a very rough 3rd round. This is where Ryan Garcia tried to pull a Muhammad Ali and call his round. That sometimes puts undue pressure on a young fighter.
But he's trying, and to have that courage and want to go out there and then see it physically, I mean, if you can back it up, it all makes it great.
But do you see Velez wearing down here in the 4th round, B-Hop? His demeanor, his body language?
Velez got hit with some good shots, and he realized that he's in there with a young fighter that really means what he says. And you know what? Punches can change your mind when they hit you.
All right, in Velez's corner, It was William Cruz giving instructions. Beto, what was he telling the Puerto Rican fighter?
And Bernard, you talked about those big punches. They asked him, how do those feel? Velez said he has some power on it, but the second one wasn't as strong as the first one. His instruction for this round, encímalo, smother him, get in front of Ryan.
That's exactly what he wants to do. And there's that quick overhand right from Ryan Garcia. One of the things that impresses me about this young man is how he's able to create space and take advantage of it.
That impresses me, but also I go back to that right uppercut. What impresses me is when he see that he getting some mileage out of things that he's doing, he goes back to that. Maybe not right away, but he goes back to what got a reaction. You know, when he got reaction, he bounced on it, and he just threw an uppercut not too long ago, trying to get the same reaction. That is poise. That is a young fighter who believes in himself and know what he needs to do.
One of the other things being that Jayson Velez is a more experienced fighter with his 30-second professional fight this evening. You see Ryan Garcia trying to set things up. He's not just going after him like he would against a fighter of a lesser level. I mean, he's respecting the skill of Jayson Velez, who one day was also a young, brash, undefeated fighter for Puerto Rico. But nonetheless, he knows what his job is tonight.
Garcia is sitting in the pocket, and he's continuing to throw that off the right jab, off the left jab, a right uppercut, combination, spins off the ropes and go in the middle of the ring. That's ring generalship. When you see ring generalship, you know that he's not only having fun, but he's also using all the mechanics that he knows from the amateurs down in the pros. And that's what I'm impressed by.
Ryan Garcia was supposed to be on the Canelo Triple G undercard. Fortunately for us, that fight did not happen. And so here he is headlining on Golden Boy Boxing on ESPN, trying to show the world what King Rai, the Flash, is all about as round 4 comes to an end. Bernardo Osuna, Bernard Hopkins, and Beto Duran coming to you live from the StubHub Center in Carson. Tonight's main event features undefeated Ryan Garcia taking on Jayson Velez. And this is territory that Velez expected to be in and to be taking Ryan Garcia into. What did you observe from Ryan Garcia in the first 4 rounds as we hear the fans go crazy for a second?
He handled what? He handled the pressure of Velez. And right now, Garcia is standing in the pocket waiting to counter Velez like he just did.
So far, overhand right now.
So yes, but so far, Garcia is passing the test that I think the world wanted to see if he can pass, and that is how he reacts when the pressure by Velez be pressured round by round by round. How do he change Velez thinking and make him fight a fight that he's not used to? And that is trying to box or trying to find a way to counter.
All right, Beto, this fight got into the 5th round. Ryan said it wouldn't, but it is here. What were the instructions in the corner?
His dad said this is the fight the dad expected. Obviously, he said Velez is really experienced. They want Ryan to start going to the body because they see how Velez is trying to get inside. He said, get to the body, attack the body. That was the emphasis for this round.
Thank you very much to our ringside reporter, Beto Duran. And, I mean, just a reminder, Ryan Garcia is the hottest thing since sliced bread in terms of young prospects, but this was once the story of Jayson Velez, who had a stellar amateur career, and he recalls that, and he says, I was once that guy. I ended up working at a fast food place, so anything can happen in the sport. And one punch can change it all, as we see right there, another right hand that makes Velez's legs wobble.
Velez spoke about that, and you know, we see Garcia as a guy that thinks he's invincible, and he wants to change that because he know the thinking of that because he's been in that situation.
Velez's observation of Ryan Garcia as he lands 2 overhands rights. Big right hand there. 3 overhand rights for Ryan Garcia, but there's Velez, who has never been stopped as a professional. He's got 4 losses, but he's always seen the final bell. And that's why for Ryan Garcia, this is about proving a point, proving that he is better than anybody else who's ever stepped into the ring against Jayson Velez.
And he wants to continue to what? Tell people that he's here, and he's here for a long time. And even though 4th round and the 5th now that we are in, he's still going to try, I see, the way he's throwing punches, try to get a knockout. But he must be careful of Velez.
see Ryan Garcia, very accurate. 18 knockouts and 26 wins for Jayson Velez from Juncos, Puerto Rico. Mexico, Puerto Rico on Cinco de Mayo weekend. That's what you got in tonight's main event on Golden Boy Boxing on ESPN. Oscar De La Hoya ringside, but look who's just a couple seats next to him. It's former UFC heavyweight champion Chuck Liddell, who was in the Golden Boy offices today. They're talking about a bright future moving forward, boxing and UFC, B-Hop.
And listen, I love it. Whatever brings fans to the table and the TV.
Well, Ryan Garcia does that too. So I'm sure Golden Boy Boxing is happy as one of the partners in the company. I mean, Ryan Garcia is probably getting more out of this type of fight than he would out of a quick knockout here in his 15th pro bout.
Experience. And experience will go a long way past this fight. And Ryan Garcia, look at the combinations. One punch, I think he should add more punches, because when he's throwing combinations, he seems to be sharper, quicker, and he seems to get the last 2 or 3 punches in. But no, Velez is one of those pretty in the alley type of guys who's going to maul you inside like he's doing now to Garcia.
This is the fight that Garcia's corner envisioned, but it's also the fight that Jayson Velez envisioned. I mean, he knew he had to walk through fire. He had to walk through the power of this young fighter, but so far, he's been able to withstand the punishment. Let's take a look at the total power punches thrown so far. It's actually very even when you look at the number thrown, just 3 difference. But look at the punches landed, almost twice as many for Ryan Garcia at a 34% clip, with 56 landed so far through the first 5 rounds of action.
Younger, quicker, and fighting more of his style than Velez. Velez somewhere in these rounds, he has to change the style, because it will continue to repeat himself round by round by round, because Garcia is going to continue to do these quick punches, right hand, left hand, and beat him to the punch, and sneak that uppercut in there every now and then.
Stop! Right? Deep breath.
Ryan Garcia having to think things through here, and he lands a nice uppercut as Velez tried to get aggressive, and he's paying the price here in the 6th round. Nice left hook from Ryan Garcia, who starts to unload his power punches, and the fans start to get on their feet here at the StubHub Center.
That gotta be very, very discouraging, because you get 1 punch in, and you get hit with 10 punches, and he takes that play away. That is Garcia. I mean, Velez has to continue to press forward, but he got to press forward and do something different, or he's going to be like you get picked off before you can get a punch off.
Look at that wily veteran move, being below the belt when the referee is on the other side. That's something that Bernard Hopkins would appreciate.
Don't move back, okay? You got to break the momentum. You don't even have to clinch or anything. He's coming in. Step to the side. Circle him, and then open up. Yeah, thank you. Yeah. All right? So he's coming in like that, so you got to spin out immediately, but don't stay by the rope. Stay in the center of the ring. And I'll
go. Garcia sees everything that's coming at him, because Velez is throwing 1 punch, and he's throwing slow punches. And so when you got that with a younger guy, a prospect like Garcia, he's going to counter. He's going to throw 3 or 4 punches. Velez has to keep the fight close, so those quick punches won't be effective to him. But I doubt if he can withstand the speed and the ring generalship that Garcia is putting on him right now.
But he's coming out strong, pressuring his Jayson Velez. And so, Beto, what were the instructions for the Puerto Rican fighter in his corner?
As they said in the corner, super bien, as the Boricuas say, he's good. They told him to put the pressure. They said he told us yesterday in the meetings that he knew that Ryan Garcia never got extra rounds. He wanted to take him deep water. The corner said that they want Jayson to do exactly this. Stay nice and tight, cover up on that uppercut that Ryan's trying to land.
You see now the blood trickling from the right side of the face of Jayson Velez. The corner did a good job in terms of that, but there's that overhand right that once again finds a home behind the ear of Jayson Velez. But the chin of Velez holding up so far, B-Hop.
Yes, holds it up, but it's His face is getting marked, and the rounds are really ticking by. You know, Jayson Velez is being told in his corner to do what? Keep the pressure. But keeping pressure and not actually moving a hand and making something out of that pressure is just basically running into what Garcia is run into him so he can throw his combination. And Garcia will do that all day long. He'll continue to throw punches as Velez walk in like he's doing now.
Once again, he catches him with the right hand coming in, and then the left hook from Ryan Garcia. Now, Velez told us Ryan Garcia has two gears. He comes forward or he goes backward. He doesn't know how to fight laterally. That's what I'm going to try to make him do tonight. And nice left hook there from Jayson Velez. He's trying to find that second win, catch that second win.
But what Ryan Garcia is doing now, he might not be moving laterally, but he's moving in circles. He's moving from the left to the right. As you see him moving now, he's not trapping himself in the corner as much as he was early in the fight.
He said, I make adjustments as the fight progresses. Not so much in sparring, but once the fight starts, I see what my opponent has, and I learn his weaknesses, and I exploit them.
Well, a couple of rounds early, it was in the second gear. Now I think he's in the fourth and fifth gear because he looks fresher, he looks sharper, he sees everything. And right now, they're just like, you know, trying to set Velez up with maybe another right uppercut because he see everything. He see everything Velez is throwing.
Playing the matador there in that scene where Velez is coming forward with his head, and he gets caught once again by Ryan Garcia. The flash, speed, power, and charisma. Jayson Velez accomplished something very important. He's taking Ryan Garcia into deep waters. That's your specialty, B-Hop. When you were a champion defending the world title 20 times as a middleweight, this is what you did. What's it like when you succeed in doing what you came out to do?
Well, one is you set your feet, you plant yourself, you get power shots in more than quick shots. You take a little bit of speed off the punch, and you put more power about what? Getting in position, maybe squatting down a little bit, maybe getting in a position to throw a left hook and a left hook position. Feet planted in the ground, as we always say, and let the punches cause power punches. Because now you're in the deep water, and now you want to see what the guy has, and can he keep up with you? And that's important to be able to let him know that you switch to another gear.
All right, Beto Duran, our third man on this broadcast team, is taking us into the corner, round in and round out. Beto, what were the instructions for Ryan?
This isn't deep water for Ryan Garcia. They said mentally they train for 12 rounds. They're not worried about everybody saying this is deep water. No concern in his corner.
All right, so Ryan Garcia, the youth, the brashness, the confidence in the corner as the wave starts to roll up here at the StubHub Center in Carson. But it's the wave of Velez coming forward that Ryan Garcia will have to deal with. As Velez said, I'm conditioned. I stopped working at the fast food place. I dedicated myself to boxing for this fight. This is my last hurrah. Through the first 7 rounds of the fight, these are the total punches thrown, and 90 more thrown from Ryan Garcia, and almost 60 more landed for the fighter from Southern California. The percentage at 28. He's got some respect for Velez, but he also wants to keep breaking him down, B-Hop.
Well, you got to keep breaking him down, and you got to change up from just hitting me with an uppercut. Garcia has a good right hook. That right hook should have been thrown right there, because when you make Velez miss, he must throw a punch to make him pay. You make him miss, you make him pay. And he has set him up really smartly. You can't set him up just throwing power shots.
All right, Ryan Garcia with his back to the rope there. The quickness of that left hook. You know, it doesn't have to be a jab. When you're that fast and your reflexes are lightning quick, you can get away with switching your offense up, and that's something that is very tough to teach a young fighter, but Ryan's got that.
That left hook from Garcia is like a whip. When he throws it, and it's quick and it's fast.
10 seconds, stop at the bell.
Go get him. You got to throw punches. You can do this. Go get him. All right, that was the Hennessy corner cam. Never stop, never settle. And that's exactly what William Cruz wants out of Jayson Velez, who's taken Ryan Garcia to unknown territory. This is the first time in his career that King Rai, the Flash, has ever seen the 9th round. And what's that like as a young prospect where you're getting into territory you never have been into?
Deep waters, that is. But, you know, Garcia's handling that deep water. To me, he handled it, if I was at the grade him, I'll say about a B, B minus, because not only is he still poised, but both guys, even Velez, he's not breathing. Garcia's not breathing hard like, you know, they're exhausted. Both guys are still a little fresh in these rounds where both of them can hurt each other if they get a good shot in. But I'm really pleased at Garcia's poise and how he's circling and not going back to the ropes, getting trapped. Velez must change the strategy in his mind how he's going to approach Garcia, because Garcia is aware what he's doing, coming forward for no punches. And so he's going to continue to circle to his left and right. What Velez needs to do is just trap him and actually bum rush him to the corner and just let all his hands go like he tried to do. But Garcia's slippery. He's got to run out of it.
Nice combination there from Ryan Garcia, who was hearing it from the crowd because he was moving laterally, trying to get a little fancy here. And hey, this is a StubHub Center. The crowd does not play that boxing stuff here. No fine boxing, no stylistic boxing. They want a war.
Well, they'd have booed me the first second the fight was started, because I got to see what I'm working with and get my vision right.
Well, Ryan Garcia got his vision right there with a nice uppercut. But Velez, we talked about his durability. He was called into this fight for a reason, to give Ryan Garcia rounds, experience, and a challenge, and that's exactly what the Puerto Rican has poised this evening against Ryan Garcia. A challenge, and Ryan Garcia's in for a fight this evening.
What I like about Velez, he continue to come forward. You know, he's not as talented, all-around fighter like a young prospect of Garcia, but far as his heart, far as he's determined to still try to plug and plug and plug, and maybe something happened, maybe he gets a shot in. He never took a step back and get frustrated, and that's what I like about Velez.
Nice right hand there from Ryan Garcia. And here Ryan Garcia is just trying to shine, and the fans are still with him. Punching there from Ryan Garcia. You know, Velez is coming off of a huge win against former champion Juanma Lopez. Oh, big right hand from Ryan Garcia. Almost comes at the bell.
Since you were 7 years old, and you know what? You've been in deep waters now. Without a life jacket, let's go. Let's get him.
No training wheels, no life jacket, no floaties. This is the 10th and final round of the Garcia-Velez main event alongside Bernard Hopkins and Beto Duran. I'm Bernardo Osuna coming to you from the StubHub Center in Carson, where Velez once again proves his durability against Ryan Garcia, making the young prospect put in a workman-like evening. And he takes a nice left hook from Velez and says, hey, protect yourself at all times, kid.
That veteran move. Look, here's a guy, you know, young, don't know, backs his hand, put his hands down, backs up, like the referee's going to say, okay, fight. Listen, you must protect yourself, and one shot could have changed everything.
Always a learning experience, and Ryan Garcia walked in to the StubHub Center wearing overalls, and when I went into the locker room to talk to him, I said, hey, did you bring your lunch pail too? He said, I did, because this is a tough fight. I know what I have to do. His father said, let your hands go, and that's exactly what he's doing here in the 10th round, showing that he still has some stamina left.
This is a great opportunity in the 10th round, where Garcia now can show and display in championship rounds at this stage of his young career that he's here and he's getting better, and this is a learning place to be in the 10th round, where I can show a straight speed, a straight charisma, and now I'm going into this next level.
And this is the type of fight, B-Hop, that I think will help Ryan Garcia reassess where he is. He's been calling out the champions, but you know what? Jayson Velez proved that you've got power, but I can take your shots so far. So Ryan Garcia gets the crowd crazy, but this is a real good fight in terms of his growth as a fighter.
It is, because he hit Velez with some good punches that we've seen knock other guys out or down. Tonight, it was different. And that's a learning pace that everybody's not going to go down. How do you still figure that out and still continue to win impressively?
I mean, I think it's an impressive performance nonetheless from Ryan Garcia. Having winning practically every round of this fight, never been in danger. He's put Velez on shaky legs several times in this fight. But when you're at this point of your career, this is the type of fight that you need. No more patty cakes, no more easy fights. And this is where he really gets to prove who he is. Ryan Garcia, a true prospect.
This fight puts Garcia in the target range of other fighters in his weight division. If I was in his weight division, I would want to fight him, especially if we're in that generation that they are in now.
You want him now, not when he continues to develop. And this guy, who is now the Flash, becomes a monster.
Hello.
The businessman, Bernard Hopkins, as this fight comes to an end. So Ryan Garcia landed 29% of his punches, just over 500 thrown, 152 landed. That's exactly, or a little bit more than twice as many as Jayson Velez was able to land. But look at those power punch numbers, 120 landed to 54 for Jayson Velez, and twice as much in terms of the efficiency at a 35% clip for Ryan Garcia. Now, Ryan Garcia is a social media phenomenon with over 800,000 followers on Instagram. So we went to social media to see what the scorecards look like. And Dan Rayfield has it a shutout 100-90. Steve Kim 96-94. Let's go to Joe Martinez with the official judges' scorecards.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, after 10 rounds of boxing, we go to the judges' scorecards. All three judges see it the same. 99-91 for your winner by unanimous decision. He is now the undefeated NABO, NABF Super Featherweight Champion from Victorville, California,